And welcome to Racing, Pacing, Chasing. Time now for the pacing segment. I'm Aaron Bain, joined by my regular co-host on this segment week in, week out, Rocky Butterworth. Welcome, Rocky.
How are you, mate? All right today?
Beautiful to be here, isn't it? Racing
Another
continues.
Gone past.
We just hope, albeit crowds. Now, I'm a little concerned with the new restrictions in place that this is illegal, so I just want to test it out. We've got the tape measure here. 1.5 metres we need to get away. Yeah, this table's not even 1.5 metres long, mate. So what are we going to do?
Oh, there's 1.5 metres there.
Right, okay, all right. So there's enough between us.
Yeah, we're right.
Maybe 1.5 metres between our egos, but that's all we can. That's all we can vouch on today. We basically live together, you and I, so we'll override those rules today. But as long as we bite it, where are we today anyway, Rock? You brought me to a new place.
Yep, Choice Hotels, our
new sponsor,
major sponsor with the Prince Albert out at Gawler. What we'll be doing regularly is going to their venues scattered all around.
They've got a number of them, don't they?
Yeah, they've got about 8 or 9 here in Adelaide, which will go to them all.
Yeah.
And they're good locations for everything that you want to do. Today we're at the Manhattan Suites on Main North Road. 10 minutes down the road we've got Globe Derby. Got Velodrome just over here, mate.
When racing and cycling comes back on.
That's it. When they all come back on, we've got a pub across the road that's very, very good when it's open as well.
The Cooper's Ale House.
Yeah,
yes.
so it's only 15 minutes to the CBD, mate. So these sorts of locations for families and those that want to stay out of town and from the hustle and bustle, they're just perfect.
Yeah, and you might get against behind us. We've got the pool behind us, a good little dining area here as well, and they got everything. They got a number of rooms.
Yeah, and I met Margaret, the lady that runs the show here, and she was terrific last week, and looking forward to seeing what show we can put on for them, mate, and make sure they get as much exposure as they can in the next few episodes from us.
Yeah, certainly. We talk. It is episode 8, and it's a growing show, and unfortunately, the whole racing industry at this time is in a bit of tatters or a bit of unknown territory, like the whole world. But we'll continue to try and bring you this show as much as we can, keep you updated, and if there's no racing to talk about in coming weeks, which is probably looking more likely, but hopefully we hold on by the string of our teeth. And if there isn't, we'll talk. We'll do interviews. We'll bring in bit of history for you, and we'll continue the show going to bring some positive news.
Well, you're right at the forefront here, mate, so maybe you can tell us a bit more of how it does affect everyone in the harness industry. You've got 25 horses in work or roundabout. You've probably got another 6 or 7 that are due to come back into the stable. You've got staff. You've got a job of your own to get to every day. So how does it affect you?
It's quite, I was talking to Jake only today about it. He said it makes you a bit flat, all this at the moment, doesn't it? And it's out of our control, and you can't worry about what's not in our control, but it is, unfortunately, we're being dealt with the cards we got, as is everyone. No one's being disadvantaged by this at anyone. We all are, and you talk about, a bigger stable, and I'm lucky I've got a full-time job to go to and some form of security, which we're in an industry which is still thriving even in these times. I'm from the rural side of our business at Arns, but I feel probably more for the likes of, the Ryans, the David and Les Hardings, Shane Looms, even though they are full-time drivers, trained. Wayne, even Wayne Hill, talking to him, the limiting of him not being able to go to Mildura now over the Mildura Cup Carnival. He said he's worked tirelessly for probably the last 2 or 3 years to build up a client base. And we say client base, you're from a marketing perspective and you got your clients. Wayne's clients are trainers and us as trainers, and he's built so hard over so long to get that client base, and he's cut off at the knees. And rightly so, and it's the same for jockeys, and we talk about that on the racing segment as well. But it's going to take a long time to recover from this, and in a way, it's somewhat going to end some horses' careers very quickly. And we talk about, we joke about 1 or 2 that you've got, but it's hard to justify if we do come to a stop and racing comes to a stop for the next month. They go to the paddock. Are they worth bringing back? They're up race fit now. This is probably their last prep anyway for a couple of them. We've made some decisions this week. They're not going to make the grade. They only had a bonus in them if they were to get across the border. We're not going to hold on to them for another 3 or 4 months. It does get very hard. Tasmania, as of today, not allowing any more horses into the country.
Well, that affects you as well. How many you got down there? 6?
I think we've got 6 or 7 now, and we were planning to send another 2. There was 2 that we moved on from today, but they can't go. Horse transport, fortunately, can still run border to border, but it's limited our ability to send them to Tasmania. Now Tasmania are trying to continue to do their own thing. The reason behind this is they don't want a big influx of horses when racing stops in the other states, which is looking likely too. They hopefully going to be able to continue, but then they don't want to flood a horse and have horses that are currently down there missing out on races, which they do now. So
yeah, well, administratively too, mate. I mean, we talk about us because we're involved in the industry, but we just had a new board come in. Well, they've been smacked in the face as soon as they get there with this sort of issue. Will all the staff be required at HRSA if it's put to bed for a month or two? So there's so many livelihoods at stake, so many people's emotions at stake, and we, from where I see it now and talking to people in the harness, it's almost like breaking up with your first girlfriend.
Yeah, it is. And I'm surprised you remember that way down the list. But you talk about, you use some direct examples yourself as well. Not being able to come to the track, and a close friend of ours in the ownership as well. Di McGinn, lovely lady, loves coming out she's ended up coming out even when she doesn't have her own runner. It's those people that love coming to the track that will they return?
That's right.
Yeah, they may, because they've got that close connection with you or not. But the people that don't, and at Globe Derby last week, there were some people that come not knowing that the place was shut. They were up on the hill, they bought some food, the deck chairs and whatever, and they were kicked out within 30 seconds of getting there, which is the right thing that had to be done. Yeah. But they were kicked out within being there because of the restrictions. And, I made a comment, will they ever be back?
Yeah.
And we don't want to be turning people away
That's
at
right.
the best of times, but unfortunately we're dealt with the cards we got. We just got to get through as an industry, and I reiterate Kieran Maher's comments today or last night. As a racing industry, we always seem to pull through. We will. We'll get through. Trainers and owners, staff, they're a hardy bunch.
Yeah. So all the racing coming to Globe Derby as a trainer, do you see the merit in that and why they're doing it?
Yes and no. Yes and no. What happens to the trainers north and south? It's a hard effect on them. They've then got to travel. There's a big population up north at Port Pirie. There's a decent population down south. Not many trainers from Mount go down there. So I think HRSA are working with both those clubs closely to get a meeting there. I'll be honest, I give it a week. I personally, that's my gut feel that we're you see New Zealand tonight go to stage 4 lockdown. I really fear. I think even at work, the motto we're using at work is plan for the worst, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And that's, I think, how we've got to treat it.
Well, that's why you can't implore it enough that we've just got to play by the rules that are set in place. If one person steps out of line, like that couple on Saturday night that probably didn't know what they were doing wrong, but if that happens again, they'll shut it down. So everyone has to play by the rules in harness racing and try and keep the meetings going week in, week out.
It is some testing times, and if it's off for 2, 3, 4 months, go back 2 months ago, we never thought we'd be dealt what we're dealt now.
Have all the country clubs that are got cups coming up, have they all been postponed?
They've all been postponed. There's a good example. We spoke through the week. We obviously got Idle World back from his interstate campaign to target those country cups, and we've just sent him to the paddock, which it's only one example, but it's going to have a big effect. And when it does return, the horses need to work back up. Do people return to the track? I was talking to Ryan about it. Do your 1 and 2 horse trainers go, I've enjoyed not working horses, I've had enough, and you lose 5 of those trainers, you lose 10 horses. Do we go, right, we've scaled right back, do we only go to 15? This could have a massive wave effect.
Well, the final point that I want to make on it is also 2-year-olds. They've been in work for a long time. They're not just a 12-weeker to get to the races. They might be 25 weeks to finally get to the races. All the big 2-year-old events aren't that far away. What do trainers do with those that have got ready right now?
But it's 2-year-olds are one thing. And it gives the trainers an opportunity to probably put through the system a lot of their yearlings and horses that need to come back in, provided training's allowed to stay. And it's not only 2-year-olds. You raised a good point to me, Rocky, when we were talking on the phone. You know a lot about the sport, and we were talking. You were worried about your own investments. You owe 10 and 20% in this, and you got 2 there that are nearly ready to race that have been off for some time, and you go, well, if it does pull the pin, what do we do with them? And just to give you a little example, say a horse that's ready to trial, and we got one there ready to trial the weekend. If they say no racing for a month, we can't just keep that horse working for a month. It's now give it 2 weeks off and then hope it's ready to. But then again, and I refer because I've spoke to Wayne's and Ryan's and a lot about this. In a month's time, we say, oh no, we've got to extend another month. We don't know, and no one knows the answer. What faces us, and I don't like to sound doom and gloom because I'm trying to remain positive. And I'll tell you one bloke that is remaining positive is Wayne, and that if we can do the right thing here in SA, maybe we can keep racing. But the day's coming, and we have to prepare for that. And who knows how long it'll be?
Yeah. All right, let's
move on to some brews because we've done too much on the doom and gloom. But we talk about Wayne and the brews are with him. And I've got a funny point out here, but I'll let you lead in with the brew.
Well, our brews man, he hasn't had the best last couple of months to his lofty standards. You know, he's had his 1s and 2s and whatever, and some weeks he's gone without a winner. He's picked up 5 last weekend, back in the game. I hear Mr. February has put on a barbecue to celebrate the 5 wins.
No, I'll pull you up there.
Yeah.
I think he actually celebrated the night early. Now, I've got it on good record, right, speaking to him at the trials on Sunday morning, that Mr. February, and we call him Mr. February now, he's well known. If you missed it, we can put the photo back up for you if you like. But he had, did you know they have car park parties at Globe Derby? Have you heard of it?
No.
Car park parties. So after the last, right, there's 1, 2, 3 of them that get together out in the car park with some beers and drink. In the car park where they're parked, they've put their bikes on the back, they sit there on the tailgate and have beers till sometimes 12:30, 1 o'clock in the float car park. This is a true fact.
I've never known that existed.
Never knew it.
No flag there.
No flag there. Apparently Danny hosted it Sunday night. Not sure if the Sunday night one went ahead, but Wayne's hosted it Saturday night, celebrating the down by the seaside discretionary cup, you could say, a night early. He knew he was winning.
He knew.
And he made me know that he'd driven 5 winners. He sent me a text this afternoon, actually, when he went through the noms, and he said, hard to get a gig in your stable at the moment, mate. He just screenshotted me the nominations and my driver selection for the week and said, any chance of putting me on one more? I had to justify myself. He goes, mate, I was only having a dig.
No, it's great to see him back in form, and I'm sure they did have a couple, mate. So well done, Mr. February.
Anyway, move on to a barbecue. You want to got to hand over to you here because you reckon you're going to absolutely tear off on me.
Oh, no, not. It's just fact, really, mate.
Fact.
I remember.
Don't kick him in while he's down, right?
I remember the conversation clearly. We were standing right down next to our barn.
Yep.
And Maharaja walked in.
I think I said it on air too.
And it's had a couple of starts and gone very well. And you said that will be a really good horse, but it's screaming out for the paddock.
Yep.
Right? Since then, it's had 6 runs in 7 weeks.
Yep.
Not been out of a place.
Yep.
Won a couple.
Yep.
About 18 grand in
Stand by
stakes
what I
for
say.
him. Yeah. And it's in again Saturday night. It'll win again.
Yep.
And I think David Borrett probably and Heather know what they're doing there.
I don't say they don't, but I'll still stand by what I say, and they probably agree with me.
No, they don't because it's still running.
That's fine. No, and full credit to them. Yeah. Full credit to them. But it will make a very, very nice 4-year-old. And my point to you.
Yes.
When we stood there that night and on air, and I don't have anything to apologise for here because I've never disregarded the horse to any extent to Heather and David. It is a very nice horse, and it's got the riding. It's got every marking and every tick in the box to be better, have time, or better. And when this horse goes to the paddock, we'll sit here in 6 months and say, "Geez, you're all right," because it is crying out for the paddock. But they're doing a great job.
Because it has happened that often in the last 2 years, really, hasn't it?
You're still going, are you?
No. Yeah, I've got a little bit more.
What I'm saying is they've got a very nice horse on their hands and they will have an exceptional 4-year-old.
He came to me about 6 months ago and said, I'm going to be the wealthiest man in South Australia. I've got a plan to send all the half slow ones down to Tasmania and I'm just going to get 10 grand pocket money a week from...
I didn't say 10 grand a week, I said budget on a month.
I like to
exaggerate
these stories a fraction, mate.
Yeah.
He took 40 horses of the races on Sunday.
Yeah.
How'd yours go?
Yeah, quick change over one. Yeah.
How'd yours go?
Yeah, no. Willie B ran third.
Did he?
Yeah.
So you've picked up, what there?
500.
500, that's not bad.
Yeah. Not for me.
Have you had a chat to Ben to say, listen, mate, any chance...
Ring him today, he sacked one of them.
Any chance you can find me a winner? See, that's what they do. It's like owning your first horse. Usually it wins.
Yeah.
Our co-host for your show that's filling in tonight, they just made a certainty of making sure he tries to find one because his has run last pretty pretty much every time it goes around. But generally, it's like Keno. You know, you have a bet for the first time, you win.
Let me just tell you something about Tassie and my relationship with Ben. It's a very good and open relationship. He does what he likes. We buy the horses that we see fit for Tassie. He does a very good job, and you've skimmed straight over the top of one of the lads, and he's done an exceptional job in returning to some form, ready to win. He was your 3 wide no cover that you sent to me, so don't disregard. Ben train 8 winners for the weekend, you're right. None of them mine, but I tell you what, it goes around in circles. You don't look at your bank balance for Tasmania on a week-by-week basis, you look at it on a 12-month scale, and I'll report back to you in 12 months and we'll certainly be in the green.
Well, the bait's only coming from the Tasmanian side because we also set a thing in place that no horse
anyway, we're going to go to 3 wide no cover.
Enter the barn without talking to me.
We're done with news,
and all of a
brews
sudden,
and barbecues.
Jake Webster comes over the top and he's giving you advice. He puts a horse from the pony trots up against the good horses on Saturday night.
Jake's not
lady.
No.
He doesn't even know it's a pony trot. He said, I'll put it up against the good horses. That's how much his judgment's going.
No, that's a bit rough. That's the 3rd week in a row that Jake's been in the barbecue, so that's not Jake's fault. I know where you're talking about. We have a little tennis match, and currently I'm 6-1 in the first and 6-love in the second. Yes. It's game over, but anyway.
All right, mate, move on.
Move on. That's news, brews and barbecues. I copped the barbecue, so I'll wear that this week.
Who brought us that, mate?
Carol at Slows Tours. We talk about the slow tours, and unfortunately probably a little bit out of action at the moment, we'll say, with the
that'll be slow on
rules and regulations. But when everything's back on board, we'll get out and see Carol and the team there.
She wants to do a little story next week.
Love to see you on the walking stick and doing a bit of touring around Adelaide. The CBD. So we look forward to that. Anyway, it's time. Find your winner. We've done enough talking smack for the day.
Yep.
It's time. Let's get into it with 3 wide no cover. Right, 3 wide no cover, thanks to the team at MGA Insurance Brokers, Steve Mackin and his team. I'll tell you, Rob, I was walking down the main street of Gawler today, just popped out to get some lunch, and there it is, MGA Insurance Brokers, little store, straight opposite the Prince Albert, basically.
Is it?
Yep, about 20, 30 metres down on the opposite side of the road. They are everywhere, MGA Insurance Brokers, do a fantastic job.
They sure do.
You've tipped one of your old horses here.
Yeah, we moved Arla for Tess on for various reasons, and one was to take the money of maybe 3 or 4 wins. In one hit, so we've done it. She's back in work and won first up at Gawler. But I really liked her run Saturday night. She went 3 wide on her own for about the last 600. Got beaten quite a distance by Maharaja, but that was $1.10 because it's a very nice 3-year-old Maharaja, isn't it? Yeah. And
walked and zipped home.
Yeah, walked and zipped home. So it wasn't a great time, but I just think it. Our Lava Test will win a race on a Saturday night.
Ready to win.
Its form's going pretty well, so we're going to have a bit of a look at the last sectional here and see her coming down the outside a whole lot quicker than most of them, except for the winner probably.
For the front straight, Maharaji's off and gone. Condon and Living on the Edge, and also there Moringa Magic and I Love a Test with a minor prize, but Maharaji's going to be too good. Maharaja first, I Love a Test gets up for second, third Moringa Magic, then...
Good win there, and full credit to Claire Goble, doing a fantastic job, driven by David Smith there. Wayne normally takes the drive, but David Smith aboard there, that horse ready to win. Anyway, moving on to Let It Ride, we are going to we're going to keep one Let It Ride going. Goes around Saturday in Frankton, Hampton, drawn wide. We know what our men will be doing, drawing wide.
He'll be going forward, mate.
It'll be anchors down at the start. It'll just be foot to the floor and see if he can get to the front. But we baited him on the show last week. He thought it was a bit unfair, but
did he?
We say let it ride, and let's just let it ride. Franco Hampton this weekend should be winning. Moving. Sorry,
I've got another one for Let It Ride as well. I did back Ryan's horse, Gordon Gill, last week. It came from a long way back, and it was.
You sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
You sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
You haven't seen the nominations? Up against your horse on Monday.
It's also in Saturday night.
Oh, you're tipping it for Saturday, not Monday.
Saturday night.
Okay. I think there's a lot of horses going around this week. Saturday, Monday, Tuesday. In case the meetings fall over.
Drawn barrier 8 on Saturday night. And it's been quite a powerful finish of the last 2 starts, and one good enough last week, or the week before when I was let it go, to think that you can leave your money in your punt club account and just jump on again. And just to show you what I think of Gordon Gill, it comes 3 wide at the top of the straight and actually comes out maybe two or three more horses from there, and storms home to just catch Living on the Edge on the line, but it was powerful enough to think have another crack at it when it goes
Front
around.
straight, living on the edge, got clear by 5 metres. Down the outside, Marengo Magic. Out wide, Gorgon Girl. Back on the inside, Blackheart is living on the edge, getting tired. Gorgon Girl looming up on the outside with Georgie May. Gorgon Girl gets up to either beat Georgie May. It was in a photo for second with living on.
Anyway, my favourite segment that we started 8 episodes ago this season,
Yep.
Leroy the Lizard. So another local. He's going to be disappointed actually with no racing up at Port Pirie. He just sits at that Crystal Brook turnoff. But Leroy, he's tipped us into Maharaja. He's tipped us into Classic Arc. $8 into $4.50. Not everything went to plan with everything last week, but he'll bounce back. Race wasn't run to suit. You found one this week.
Well, I couldn't believe it when he said, Rock, make sure you give this a mention on the next show. And I said, what's it called? And he said, Assassinator from the Chris Nickel stable. And I said, it's drawn.
I like how when he's got one at decent odds, he rings you. When he's got one short, he sets me up. So.
Yeah, because you don't bet.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
No, neither I should.
So he's found Assassinator. It's drawn the inside of the 10-metre arm. But he said if he gets a clear run through, he thinks he's going to lead. That's how confident he is. And it's going to be good odds, Assassinator. It's not a bad field. But they're the ones we like from
Leroy's
Leroy.
kidding himself if he's leading from 10, but he's still a chance.
We'll see.
Yeah. Carnage. The way our stand starts have been running late. Anyway, there is a nice 3-odd race run on Saturday night. And we do talk about, it's only a 6-horse race, but you've got Sir Lucas in a lot of form. Maharaja, our favourite horse on the show, we talk a lot about, and he's a shark as well.
Well, you tell me how that race is going to pan out, mate.
Yeah, Sir Lucas drawn 4 inside both of them. It'll be wanting to push forward. It won't want to hand up. Maharaja will also push forward. He's a shark, very versatile. So, it'll be an interesting race.
It sure will.
Yeah. Anyway, we've talked a lot of smack on the show, and we've also tried to find you a winner, but there's a fair few, there's some tough times ahead, Rock.
Yeah.
We hope to be back this time next week, hopefully within our control that we can be here, bringing you some news. We'll try and find you a guest on next week's show.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try and find Heather Stevens to talk about Maharaj. Get her on and let's call her out onto the show and say, come and talk to us about Maharaj and when he is going to the paddock, because he deserves he's going to earn a well-deserved break. But anyway, thanks for joining me tonight, Rock. Been a pleasure, and we'll be back hopefully this time next week.